Victim mentality is a term that's being used fairly regularly today. It's possible that some of us experience victim mentality without actually understanding what it is. If you want to know a little bit about how to combat victim mentality, consider using a little bit of self-compassion. It's a good antidote for victim mentality.
Any stories shared in this podcast have had names and details changed for the confidentiality of clients. Any resemblance to someone real is coincidental. So when it comes to victim mentality, it's easy to get stuck in it, and I think we all have been there or know someone who seems to be there a lot. So today we're going to talk about how to escape that and what the difference is between being in a victim mentality and having some compassion for yourself. The best way that I like to describe being in a victim mentality is when you're kind of just letting life happen to you. And it feels like you have given up control over anything good or bad in your life, and everything just sucks and it's all out. There's nothing you can do about it. And it becomes like a very woe is me, nothing is going my way, and you've given up any idea that you can affect that. Does that sound like a good definition?
It's all outside of your control. It's awful. There's nothing you can do about it.
Yeah. So when you talk about the opposite of a victim mentality and talk about having some self-compassion, what does that look like?
Well, I like the way that you started it out talking about this idea that life is happening to me. In order to have compassion and even some understanding for yourself, you have to recognize that you're not going to just continually be on the up and up. Life is hard. Life is hard when life is good. And so if life throws a wrench or a curveball, the idea behind self-compassion is recognizing that, you know what, this is hard and maybe I need to slow down a little bit. Maybe I need to gently talk myself into taking a break. Maybe I need to take a few minutes and take a step back. Maybe I need to ask other people for help, right? The idea of being compassionate is not necessarily taking a break to be stuck and to be broken and to be all of those things, but it's taking a step back and coaching myself to get back on the horse, getting back behind the wheel of the car so that life doesn't happen to me. But you can do it from a perspective of gentleness, compassion, and kindness, so that way you still work towards the ultimate goal rather than being stuck and I can't do this.
There's a in-between of there are things out of my control, but not all of it.
Yeah,
I'll get back on and do the things in my control.
Yeah, because the other side of that is there's no amount of beat yourself up, rah speeches that include telling you how crappy you are that actually make you feel like you can get back on the horse and do this, right? But if you can convince yourself you know what, I'm probably doing too much and I probably shouldn't skip lunch breaks anymore. Maybe I just need some food, right? Or maybe I need some sleep, or maybe I need... Oh man, I'm just going to go on a soapbox. Maybe you need a vacation, right? Maybe that's a thing. The idea of self-compassion is taking a step back and doing some of these things so that I can get back in control.
Right. And I would say, getting stuck in that victim mentality can be something that is a big habit for us in a lot of ways, because there are things that are outside of our control. And maybe in our lives, we've even in a lot of ways been conditioned to give up. Right. I see a lot of people who are maybe early 20s that have had that situation where when things get really hard, they've always had a parent that steps in and sort of fixes things for them, or some situation where, okay, well, this got really hard, so I just get to quit. And that's been the experience for their entire early life. And it makes it really hard to then step into a situation and say, oh, I should keep trying, and I do have some influence over what happens to me. So there's just this really fine line that we have to learn how to walk. We have to recognize when our brain is going too far and saying, I can't do anything about any situation ever because I'm a failure, I'm not good enough, this world's too hard. And then kind of switching it over and saying, no, look, life is hard. And there are things outside of my control, and that's really difficult. And I've got to figure out how to be able to get back on the horse and try again and do it in a way that's kind to myself and patient with myself and realistic, but also that still continues to help me move in the direction that I want to go.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, you're not getting out of this. You still got to go through it, right? but for heaven's sakes, take a break.
You don't have to be mean to yourself about it.
Yeah, that's probably the best way of looking at it.
You don't have to be mean to yourself about it, and you also don't have to sit down and throw your hands in the air and say there's nothing you can do.
I can't do this. Yep.
Who would have thought a little moderation goes a long way? Well, thank you for joining us. Hopefully this has been helpful, and we will see you on the next video.
Thanks.
Bye.
If you enjoyed today's video, please like and subscribe. Thank you so much for watching. We've got other videos for you to check out and more exciting things coming soon, so thank you.